Assalamu alaikum. My name is Namreen Sonday, and today we're going to be making Methi Ladoo. So Methi Ladoo is a popular Indian, I wouldn't say a treat, but it's traditionally given to new moms because of the medicinal benefits of some of the ingredients. So I'm going to take you through them and then talk you through what it's all about. So we started with butter, but butter's probably not the healthiest ingredient, but it makes everything taste better. So we'll go with that, butter. We've got tasty wheat. Then we've got the ground methi. So methi is a seed like this. It's got a bit of a bitter taste, but there's numerous health benefits. It's known for reducing your insulin, your sugar. Like people with diabetes, they would take this to reduce their sugar levels. It's also a good detox. Fenugreek is also very good for new moms. It's a mood enhancer. It helps with milk supply. So this is a key ingredient. That's probably why it's specifically made for the new moms. I remember my mom, the first time I had it was when my elder sister had her first baby, and yeah, so that's kind of the benefit of that. Then we've got a gourd. You can either use gourd or what's known as jaggery. So this is the other option. The only thing is that this comes in a big blob, and I prefer these because you can weigh them off to your specification. So this is sugar in its most natural form. So the cane juice is cooked and whatever, but none of the goodness is extracted. So it's also got, it's high in magnesium and a couple of other things. You can Google it. It's got a lot of benefits. It's better than sugar, and it's used as a sweetening agent in the dish. It's also it's got a beautiful caramelly flavor, so it's a nice balance to the bitter methi, right? So that's that. Traditionally, we would use the whole coconut. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that bench from back in the day. There was like a little log bench, and there was a grater at the end, and you would spend the whole day getting through this coconut. But anyway, nowadays everything is made easy. You can either buy these already cleaned for you and grated. You can put it in the food processor as well. It takes so it saves you a lot of time. Or if you're really lazy like me, you get them ready like this. It's sold frozen at the spice shops. And yeah, it's fresh coconut. Got that softness and the juicy flesh that you get from the fresh coconut. For today's purposes, I grated one whole coconut just to get the approximate measurement. So the recipe calls for 4 coconuts, and it also depends on the size what measurement you will get. This is about 270 grams, so I'm going to go with saying 300 grams per coconut. Okay, so let's get going. The recipe, it's a two parts. I mean, you can do it in one, but it's just easier, and I'll explain it to you. On the one hand, you're going to roast your tasty wheat, and in the other, you're going to soften your gourd. Your butter, you could do half, but I like to put a little bit more in when I'm roasting the tasty wheat, and then the other part you will put in when you're heating the gourd. The reason I do that is because this is sugar. You don't want it to burn, so the butter kind of helps it to just soften without burning. Otherwise it would become bitter and defeat the purpose. So usually I'd be my mom's assistant. I'd handle the one pot and she would do the other. But it's no time like the present to take over the reins, eh? Next generation. So I'm just melting this down. I'm using the same spoon just because they all get tossed in together anyway, so I'm not going to be too pedantic about that. So our butter is getting nicely melted. I'm going to add the gourd now so that they can, and then reduce the heat so that it can melt slowly but not burn. This butter is also melted nicely, so I'm going to add well, it's not completely melted, but it's got a nice heat to it, so I will add the Taystee Wheat, a full packet. So this is not a long process. It's not like soji where you're going to get it to a very red color. You just want it slightly toasted. Stir it because because it's quite a quantity. You want it to toast evenly. You don't want just the bottom to get red, so just stirring it every now and again or frequently helps that it toasts evenly. So the old way, they would eventually put the hard blob, whether it's the jaggery or that, with this, but this just obviously simplifies it and makes it easier. It makes that easier to melt down as well. Okay, so this seems to have a good color. It's toasted nicely. You don't want it to be more red than this. It's just, like I said, lightly toasted. I'm going to switch it off and wait for the gourd to finish. Because the pot's hot, it will still continue to do its thing as well. So we're almost done. Once that is finished, we're almost there. It's so easy. Can you see how nicely this is reduced? Like fudge. So good. Yeah, so now all we have to do is add the coconut and the methi seeds, and then we're done. My mom is a Sikrol. She comes from Sikrol, and this is what she's always made, and everyone would always come to her. This was her speciality. So, and the first time she made it was for my elder sister when she had the baby, and then after that everyone just always came to her for this methi. I don't think it was like everybody knew how to make it back then, so so it was a very sought after recipe of us, because I think this is about done. I'm gonna turn it off and then just let that last bit melt in the heat, because I don't want it to burn. So yeah, my mom's been a big part of who we are as women, as women in the Indian culture also, because she's a very self-righteous person, very proud of women's rights and such. So yeah, very strong woman. And so yeah, like a lot of my output is my relationship with my siblings, my parents, my husband, my kids, and that's, yeah, it's my mark on the world, if you wanna put it that way. Yeah. So there we go. So I'm going to add the ground methi to this tasty wheat. You don't, so this doesn't need to be cooked. You just want the flavor to mix with that, right? So I'm going to stir that in. The other thing about the methi, because methi is bitter, some people would use less. It's your preference. This, I mean, I don't find it to be this proportions to be bitter. It's actually quite because of the caramel flavor of that. But should you not fancy the methi, you can. That is something that you can reduce. And now we're going to put everything else together: the gourd, the coconut, stir it through, and then we're done. But I mean, the coconut back in the day, I remember when I was to get married, my fupu, you know, they always, every auntie would want to like teach you something, and she came with that bench and then fresh noodles, how she wanted to teach me how to grate. It's like a memory that will always stay with me. We made these puris with the coconut in, but I will never forget that. My arms were so sore from grating that coconut on that bench. Okay, put some more coconut in. It's amazing what memories stick with you also. You know, back in the day you had to have you can't go get married and not know how to do things in the kitchen, so. Now I need some elbow grease. Now I understand why we were two people making this back in the day. Okay, so the pot's getting a bit small. I'm going to transfer it to a bigger pot, just to make the mixing process a bit easier. Okay, time to put that gourd in here and make a little bit of a well in there, and then pour it in. Bismillah. Must start everything with Bismillah. Let's mix it together.
And does the gourd dry quickly?
It will get hard. That's why you want to work with it when it's still warm. Obviously, this is quite hot now. So once I mix this, you don't want it to cool down completely. Just till it's soft, cold enough for you to manage in your hands. I do use the ice cream scoop just to help me along. But yeah, you saw the solid state of the gourd, so you don't want it to harden. Like here you can still see a little bit of the soji, you know what I mean? You want it to all look more caramel. Yeah, so to kind of hold its shape a bit better, and all of it should be one color. It shouldn't be like the variance in color is an indication that the soji or the tasty wheat is not mixed through properly. But this seems to be coming together nicely now. This is really such a nostalgic smell. It just brings back all that memory. So I kind of use this ice cream scoop just to get uniform shapes, and you want to work with it when it's like this is a nice temperature, otherwise the butter and the gourd all gets hard. So that's also another reason why I will leave it in the pot and not put it into another container, because the pot also retains its heat. And there we go, as easy as that.